Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Polkadot. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. And without further ado, let's get straight into the charts. So taking a look at Polkadot on the daily, as always, we have the same Fibonacci retracement with the swing high printed in November of 2021 and the swing low printed in July of 2021 as well. And we're down to our 1.414 Fibonacci retracement level at $5.20. We're hovering around that level, and still our current technical target is $3.69, which could be met if Bitcoin continues to drop down. And I think that is possible before the end of spring, because I think before the end of spring, we're going to print our final bottom for this bear market, and we are going to be on the recovery road moving forward towards the next Bitcoin halving in 2024. So you can also see that we are in this large falling wedge pattern here, and we are in the very apex of the pattern. So a break to the upside is very possible, and I think if that does happen, then we're going to see a very, very strong push. So be careful taking some profits or swing trading on these strong breakouts, because you may sell and the price is just going to continue moving up. I would advise waiting until the RSI is going to get overbought on the daily and on the 12-hourly chart, right? When we're going to get back above the index of 70, outside the red box, right? At that point, you could start taking some profits maybe. But obviously, it depends on you and what your targets are. But I'm going to be holding Polkadot for the next year and a half, 2 years, until we reach the next bull market peak. Obviously, I don't know where the peak is going to be, but we can lay the Fibonacci retracement and see what our technical targets are going to be like moving forward. But for that, we're going to need to print our bottom, which we still haven't done, or we don't know if we have printed the bottom. But if we continue zooming in, you can see that we are very, very tight in this apex, and potentially one last touch from the support could occur sometime in December. We might bounce off of the pink trend line here, off of the support of the falling wedge, and from there we might explode to the upside. Now, we're going to be getting the CPI data coming out very soon, and we're going to be getting the FOMC meeting happening December 14th and 15th. And if we get another interest rate hike, then potentially crypto is going to react negatively. And Canada did increase interest rates this month, and usually the US does the exact same thing that Canada does. So there is a good chance that we might see another 75 basis points increase, and the Fed has stated that they're not planning to start decreasing the interest rates as of right now. So I think expecting something very bullish to happen would be foolish, in my opinion. Now, that's regarding the falling wedge, and like I said, if we start breaking down, then you also have a smaller Fibonacci retracement that you can look at. Now, if we delete that, you can see that you have the 1.618 and the 1.414 on this smaller Fibonacci retracement. So that is our swing high in August, and the swing low we printed all the way back in July, and we still haven't reached the 1.618. Currently, that is at $4.50. So maybe we just start breaking down from the falling wedge, have a little wick down, and then we continue and with a strong impulsive move to the upside, because sometimes that happens where you have this little fake out before, where you are expecting a breakout. You have this little fake out just to confuse everyone, and then you have the strong breakout just so that more people are going to start selling. That happens quite often on the charts. Also, what you could target is this green trend line. If I take that trend line, and let me actually change the color because green isn't looking very good there. Yellow, right? Let's make it yellow. So that trend line right there, as you can see, that yellow trend line, actually, let's make it orange. I don't like yellow. It's not very visible. There we go. Orange is a little bit better. So as you can see, that orange trend line there, we could end up hitting it once again as support like we did back in November and like we did at the end of November as well. So we broke out in October, had 2 retests, and potentially we might have another move to the downside. So look out for the orange trend line. It's basically a resistance level that we created in August and then we broke above in October. And now we might see another retest. And you also have the green trend line here that we have been testing multiple times. But I would think that this is, way too many trend lines. So I'm going to get rid of the green one because we don't need that many trend lines. We kind of know what's happening and we kind of have an understanding of where the price could go. So I would say if the price goes below $5, that's a fire sale, right? You can't go wrong. If you're buying Polkadot at a 97% discount? Actually, no, Polkadot hasn't okay, this is impressive, 90%. And this is a higher cap altcoin, keep in mind, so that's why it's a 90% pullback. So all of the lower cap and mid cap altcoins usually, come back down 97, 98%. Polkadot is holding pretty strong here with a 90% pullback. And if we reach all the way, if we go back to $4 or $3.80, that's going to be a 93% pullback. So that's feasible, that's doable. Let's switch over to the daily. So this is where we are seeing a bullish divergence, which is pretty cool. So if I zoom out or zoom in, and you can see that the RSI is constantly having higher lows, okay? As you can see, constant higher lows. However, on the price action chart, you can see that you're printing lower highs, or lower lows, I should say, right? Here you have higher lows, and here you have lower lows. And this is called a bullish divergence. So at some point, this divergence has to play out. We are going to see some sort of a breakout because these are preludes to these breakouts. We're very overextended to the downside. If you go to the weekly chart, we might be looking at a bounce off of the 20 EMA. And let's actually jump into the RSI here. As you can see, this sort of channel up pattern has been retested multiple times since May of 2022. And each time you touch that, you see a spike. You see a bounce. And the next time that could happen, maybe we'll see another bounce. So potentially in December, you might have another pullback. You do something like this, and then you have a move to the upside. However, if we see some sort of a black swan event, something unforeseen happening, and obviously all the financial markets are going to be crashing if that happens. And in that scenario, you could be looking at buying opportunities all the way back down below the index of 30 here. So if you're chilling somewhere below the red box, down here, that's a very, very good, and you're lucky actually, you're lucky if you catch Polkadot at these levels on the RSI. You are a lucky person and you should be dollar cost averaging, in my opinion. Not a financial advice, however. Now let's switch over to the Binance chart. So taking a look at the weekly, as you can see, we are getting rejected from the light blue trend line that was a resistance level all the way back at November 8th, 2021. So since November, we have been retesting this level as resistance. And the next touch was in March this year. Then we had another move in November of 2022. And right now in December of 2002, we're having the same thing. So 4 resistance touches already. And what I want to say is that when you break these multi-month resistance trend lines, this is a very good opportunity to make some money because usually you do see a very, very strong breakout. And I don't know how far this breakout is going to go, but the first target would obviously be the 20 EMA. Then what you could do is you could target the August high that we have over here. As you can see, this is the resistance level that we reached in August, and this is the exact same level we retested back in January of 2021 before we had that massive run up. So this is a good level for us to take some profits at, which is $9. After that, you have the 55 EMA on the weekly chart. And then you have the swing low that we printed in July of 2021 as a major resistance level. So I think after we break these levels and we start making higher highs, I think we can safely assume that the bottom has been printed, right? If we start doing something like this. But this is too perfect of a situation and too perfect of a scenario. Obviously, it's not going to play out like that. So we need Bitcoin to start breaking its August high. We need to see a bullish cross on the Bitcoin's weekly chart on the EMAs. And once that happens, we can safely assume that most of the altcoins have bottomed, right? But until that happens, all we can do is dollar cost average and react to these situations and react to what the charts are giving us, because you can never guess, or even if you do guess a couple of times where the price is going, it's not going to be happening forever, right? You can hit 2 times and the third time is going to be a miss and you're going to, lose a lot of money, and you don't want to do that. So you're better off being ready for both outcomes and both scenarios at all times. Obviously, right now we are in this support block, which is $6 to $4.50. And I think this is where our bottom is going to be printed. And if you take a look at the weekly RSI here for Polkadot, you can see that we are in this sideways channel. And I think as soon as we start breaking out, that's a good sign. However, if we don't break out and before that we start breaking down, I would assume that we either are going to be retesting this level here, this support level, or we're going to be going all the way down to the oversold below the index of 20. So, or below the index of 30, I should say, on the RSI. So that's something to keep in mind. And also the volume is not really doing anything. Yeah, the volume isn't the greatest. However, the developer activity on the Polkadot blockchain is the highest in the entire crypto ecosystem. So let me know if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct in saying that the Polkadot developers are doing most of the work right now, or the most work on their blockchain. So that is pretty much it for this video. Thank you all for watching. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Feel free to check out my Patreon if you want to support the channel and get extra content, and feel free to follow me on Twitter as well. Goodbye and good night.